This feels so much like a sketch to me. I'm not gonna lie. Hello everyone, thank you for coming to Studio 8H, home to Saturday Night Live. New York City is a terrific place to make television. Every week we've seen in the last 10 years more and more shows and movies filming here. This past year, more than 180 films were shot in New York City. This past year, a record 23 primetime TV shows were shot in New York. And last year, the TV shows shot in New York City earned 110 Emmy nominations. And as the mayor says, that's the kind of high-quality entertainment you can make when you're not loaded down with trans fats. That's about as good as my jokes go on Saturday as well. That does not happen by itself. It takes the kind of crew that we have here at SNL. It takes a dynamic city like New York, and it takes a whole lot of behind-the-scenes work getting people to come here, done by the man I'm introducing. New York City is the premier city for television in the world. We're lucky to have a mayor who stands behind that and sees the value of TV for New Yorkers in the industry, for tourists, and for everyone else. SNL was proud to receive a Made in the New York award last year, and we're so glad to have the mayor with us today. He's going to come from out there, and just so you know, we told him that counts as hosting the show. So afterwards, please tell him he did great. Without further ado, Mayor Mike Bloomberg.
For the record, I thought your trans fat joke was great.
Thank you.
Now, I may be the only one here that thought that, but let me tell you, it doesn't matter. At least you have an audience of one, which is more than a lot of shows have.
That's true.
And I suspect you have a very big audience after 37 years. Is that right? If you can't get it right after 37 years, you are never going to. But I think you have gotten it right, and thank you so much. And I just wanted to particularly thank you and Lorne Michaels and Saturday Night Live for hosting us, and particularly the people up there who are getting a tour. Hello, everyone. There you go. They're waving. In 2010, as Seth said, we gave SNL a Made in New York award for their contributions to our city's television industry. And 2 years later, they still haven't really asked me to host. This does not count. I don't care what you say. Just think, it could be an all-New York edition. Me with musical guest, the Naked Cowboy. Instead, you pick Eli Manning. What did I miss here? I don't know. Anyways, we decided to honor SNL 2 years ago because this show is an important part of what makes New York City the media and entertainment capital of the world. And we've always said that. Some people don't believe it, but it is true. And I'm going to tell you why it's true. These are certainly heady times for this industry. The energy, excitement, and optimism, it's everywhere. And if you look around New York, you can see it on the sets of TV favorites like Gossip Girl and Boardwalk Empire. I've seen it in the workspaces of cutting-edge startups like Foursquare and Tumblr. I've seen it in the offices of publishing titans like Pearson, which is expanding its presence in our city. But you don't have to just take my word for it. A new independent report by the Boston Consulting Group, which we are releasing today, confirms exactly what we've been saying for a long time. In fact, the report, which analyzed our entire media landscape, film and television production, advertising, publishing, and digital media, found even greater growth than we had expected. And with this flood of new business has come tens of thousands of new jobs that have put New Yorkers to work during these tough economic times. Without a doubt, our booming media and entertainment industry is one of the main reasons why we have weathered the national recession better than most of the rest of the country. And I think it proves once again that our investments to diversify our city's economic base is the smartest and most effective long-term growth strategy for New York. In its report, the Boston Consulting Group looked at the major sectors of the industry and found encouraging signs in every single one of them. Let me quickly run through some of the trends it reported, starting with film and television production, which is currently the strongest it has ever been in this city. In 2011, TV and film production generated $7.1 billion worth of business, which is $2 billion more than it generated in 2002. And 82% of this growth has been fueled by TV production, especially an increase in dramas, reality, and talk shows. All told, TV and film production has generated more than $60 billion in economic activity since 2002, which is far, far above our previous estimates. And our studios, you should know, are valiantly trying to keep up with demand. With Steiner's and Studio Cup's recent expansion, we are now home to nearly double the amount of studio space that we had a decade ago. Today, film and TV production supports jobs for 130,000 people in our city, which is 30,000 more jobs than it did back in 2004. And let's remember that these are not just jobs for actors and production assistants, but for carpenters and caterers and musicians, electricians, drivers, and many other professionals. Another major factor behind the growth we've seen in the media industry is a sector of our economy that barely existed a decade ago: digital media. As the Boston Consulting Group report discovered, digital media currently has an annual economic impact of $8 billion and employs more than 25,000 people full-time. At the heart of this activity is a thriving community of entrepreneurs and innovators. And within the past few years, about 300 digital startups have launched here, many of them directly related to media and entertainment. And some of our homegrown companies are now household names, like Foursquare and Seamless. And many others, I think, are on the cusp of success as well, helping bolster our reputation as a burgeoning technology capital. In fact, we've now surpassed Boston in venture capital for high-tech startups. In 2011 alone, New York City startups received about $500 million in venture capital investment. And one of the consequences is that more and more companies from Silicon Valley, like Facebook, Google, and Twitter, are also seeing their future in New York City. Digital media is clearly an exciting new frontier, and it's one that another area of our media landscape, our city's advertising and publishing companies, are pursuing with gusto. Actually, for many of these businesses, this innovation has been their saving grace. While advertising jobs have decreased significantly across the nation, though these same jobs have increased 18% in New York City since 2002. And according to BCG's report, this is a direct result of our advertising agencies beefing up their digital capabilities and leading the way in creating multimedia campaigns. And the same goes for our publishing industry. Nationwide, the industry has taken a hard hit, as we all know, at the newsstands from the rise of social media and the proliferation of online content. But many publishers in our city have been able to shed jobs at a lower rate than their peers across the country by embracing these new technologies and creating content for tablet devices and e-readers. Bottom line, the future of our media and entertainment industry is a bright one. We are committed to realizing this bright future the same way we've reached today, by investing in our city as a great place to live and work, and by supporting entrepreneurs and spurring innovation. And that's exactly what our new applied science campuses on Roosevelt Island and downtown Brooklyn are all about. It's what technology initiatives like our Big Apps competition are all about. It's what our network of city-sponsored small business incubators are aiming to encourage. And it's what Catherine Oliver and the Mayor's Office of Media and Entertainment have been working every single day to achieve, promoting our city as the best place to make a TV show, film a movie, and launch or grow a digital business. So on that note, let me ask Kathy Oliver for her comments on the Boston Consulting Group's report. Kayo?
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. You know, it was at the beginning of the Bloomberg administration that the mayor made it quite clear that we needed to diversify the city's economy. And the media and entertainment sector is just so important to our city. It not only has the potential to employ a lot of people in the creative community, but it's a great way to market our city. And so it really is in our best interest to give production keys to the city, if you will, to make that possible. John Batista is the deputy commissioner of our office, and every day he and his team are doing an amazing job to make the impossible possible, and it's just amazing what they can do. But, you know, the customer service part really is at the backbone. If we can ensure that production can get access to what they need, have a seamless experience here, you know, that's going to be great word of mouth to get other productions to come here. And that was where we started. But it was also important to always be innovative and come up with very creative incentives of varying degrees. And that's what we've done for the last 11 years. And it's really been important to build on that, to build a sense of community with our customer base, and really promote this industry not only in New York, but globally. Over the last few weeks, we've had a series of announcements. Just a few weeks ago, we were at Steiner Studios, and Doug Steiner's here today, and we cut the film ribbon on 5 new stages at Steiner, and it's amazing what's happening at the Navy Yard. We also announced that day an expansion of our workforce training programs working with small business services. We also announced an expansion of our Made in New York production assistant training program, and also we're working with EDC, and we issued an RFP to create a digital media center. And this is going to be a physical space where we can provide low-cost office space for the creative community in the digital media space. And building on that, I'm proud to say that the Partnership for New York Investment Fund has created a $2 million revolving loan facility where they're providing loans to post-production and digital special effects companies that want to expand in New York. And the first company to take advantage of this loan is First Look, and they're expanding their facility in Brooklyn. And we have Kathy Wild here and also Lily Linton, who were really key in getting this incredible incentive off the ground. I want to thank the Boston Consulting Group. We've worked with them before, and we're just thrilled with the numbers, and it was a delight to work with them, and we learned oh so much. I want to thank EDC, Seth Pinsky and his team, OMB, the Office of Management and Budget, and Michael Daugherty is here today and his team, who we've worked so closely with. And of course, my team at the Mayor's Office of Media and Entertainment, who worked tirelessly to make the impossible possible and to just cater to all of the needs and to be inventive and creative every day. And again, to SNL for being such gracious hosts today, and NBC, and continued success with 37 years. That's really amazing. And they're such a great model for other shows in our city. So thank you.
Just think that this show was started before you were born.
Oh, I know. Can you believe it?
I don't think she thought that was funny. I think she believed it.
I do.
Also joining us today is Catherine Sayer. She is a partner at the Boston Consulting Group, and I just wanted to personally thank you and your company for conducting this study. And would you tell us a little bit about it?
Sure. Thank you. So I will say it's a bit of a challenge to follow the cast up here, Seth Meyers and the mayor. But let me just give you a little bit more detail on this on the study. As outlined in our report, New York has seen dynamic growth in the film to entertainment over the past 10 years. Today, the industry represents $7.1 billion and 130,000 jobs. That's a net increase of 30,000 high-paying jobs since 2004. As the sector's grown and the technology has improved, we're seeing more post-production work coming to the city, and we expect to see this trend continue. Our interviews with industry leaders consistently cited the strong support of the city and the state of New York as an important driver of growth, including the New York State tax incentive, improved permitting, and access to premier locations, to name just a few. In addition to filmed entertainment, our findings showed strong gains in the media industry overall for the city. It represents $80 billion of revenue and employs 275,000 people. This is a net gain of 40,000 jobs in the city alone. This at a time when the industry nationally shedded 40,000 jobs. So New York has been significantly gaining share. These jobs are also important because they represent an average salary of $111,000. This is significantly above the city average, and is just another example of how media is an important contributor to the city economy overall. Within the industry, digital has been the fastest growing sector, and it now employs 25,000 people in the city. There's been an explosion of VC investment, particularly over the last few years. In 2011 alone, we saw $591 million being invested in digital businesses in New York. This puts New York second only to Silicon Valley in VC investment. With the local presence of tech giants like Google, eBay, and Facebook, as well as the vibrant community of New York-based startups such as Etsy, Foursquare, and Tumblr, there's never been a better time to be a digital entrepreneur in the city of New York. Continuing this growth, however, is going to require attracting, retaining, and developing the best digital talent. Cornell Technion is a game-changing commitment to the media and tech in the city, but our interviews indicate that this alone is not going to be the end of the story. There are opportunities to develop and train digital talent at the high school and vocational level. Industry leaders also cited the need for greater community engagement and better awareness of New York's position as a leading center of digital businesses. MoM has already responded to these findings by releasing an RFP for the Digital Media Center, as Catherine mentioned, to support digital startups. And it also builds on the success of earlier programs initiated by MoM and the EDC, such as the incubator space, to foster and develop young companies as they start up their careers in New York. Through this and building the talent base, through workforce training initiatives, we see tremendous continued growth, building on the momentum that already exists in the digital segment for New York. We believe this is going to be an important source of future job growth for the sector of New York. Thank you.
Catherine, thank you. I should point out that with us today is Rhoda Glickman. Rhoda, where are you? There you are. Rhoda is the new Executive Director of Arts and Culture and Entertainment for the state. Thank you for everything. We cannot do this without you guys, and you've been very helpful, and we must make sure that you're always included, and keep saying thank you. You keep it up. It's great for everybody, for the state as well as for the city and for the surrounding areas of New York as well. With us gathered here at 30 Rock, I would be remiss not to mention the fact that NBC is also today announcing $190 million worth of upgrades and renovations to its headquarters and other locations in the city. This project will create hundreds of jobs and position NBC to grow even more in the future. NBC, as you know, is synonymous with our city's legendary broadcasting industry, so we really do congratulate them on their latest endeavor, and we wish them all the best. And on that note, let me just briefly summarize today's announcement for our Spanish-speaking audience. Nuevo estudio ha revelado que la industria de los medios es aún más productiva para la ciudad de Nueva York que habíamos pensado. Los medios, la televisión, la cinematográfica, los medios digitales, los publicidad y los editoriales crean miles de empleos y contribuyen billones de dólares a nuestra economía. And with that, we'll be happy to take some questions. Sir.
Mr. Mayor, if you